Hello everyone and welcome back to another Snakes on the Plains video. I want to start this off first by saying that the snakes in this video, which is one of them is right here, this is a Sulphur Mojave, have eaten. As you can see, she is just finishing the last bite of her mouse. They've all eaten on their own. They're doing great. They're taking mice from the tongs, and next step will be trying to get them to take frozen thawed. So I just wanted to get that out of the way in the first point, saying that the topic of this video, which is of course assist feeding, does work, and without that these guys definitely would have starved to death. Second off, I want to apologize for not getting videos out quickly, as unfortunately I have, fortunately and unfortunately, I have been moving for the past month, which seems like forever, so I haven't gotten any videos out in quite a while. I'll be doing a much better job of that. I will try to be doing a much better job of that, I promise as well. School starts here in a couple days, but hopefully that won't be too much of a damper on my videos, because I just love making them for you all and seeing all y'all's comments and input. But anyways, let's get on to the actual content of this. Just wanted to let you guys know how these two are doing. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Snakes on the Plains. Today I'm going to be going over something that might be a little bit not really controversial, but a lot of people have a lot of different views on how to do this, and that is going to be assist feeding. We're going to be assist feeding one of the hatchlings. If you guys have been following us from my very first clutch, that unfortunately was egg bound, and this guy had a hard yolk. There were a lot of complications about this clutch, but we're going to be assist feeding this guy. So this is a little Cinnamon, and as you can see, he's absolutely tiny. He's actually grown some from the first time that we got him, and he still will not eat food on his own, and he's getting to the point where it's just getting really, well, it is dangerous that he's not eating. So this will be the third time that we've had to help him out. Again, you can just see how tiny and skinny he is. Not too long ago, his skin was actually hanging over himself while he was slithering around, because it was just so emaciated, you could say. Again, what normally happens is snakes will absorb their yolk when they get out of their egg, and that is what they will live on until about 2 to 3 weeks later when they take their very first meal. Since this guy did not right away when he hatched, and when he came out of the egg, I gave him a pinky mouse so that he would have some sort of sustenance to get him to those 2 or 3 week mark of eating on his own. Unfortunately, he still has yet to do that, so I've just been giving him a mouse pinky about every 4 to 5 days when his siblings are eating, which is about the right size for him, believe it or not, right now. Hopefully we'll be bringing him up on something soon. Hopefully he'll be taking food on or by himself soon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to want to do this with my left hand, actually, because I'm right-handed, is just grab him behind the head, and I'm going to be looking at him, so sorry if it's out of the camera for just a second. And what I want is I want to have my here we go, thumb and forefinger on either side of his jaw, like so. And I know it's not focusing for you guys, but you can see my fingers on this side. There we go. And that way I'm not holding his throat or anything. So next I'm going to grab Frozen Thawed Pinky right here. Good stuff. So what I do next is I use the mouse pinky to open his mouth. It's just a little bit more easier for him and everything. And right now he's not pulling or anything. He's completely calm. So I'm just going to be doing that. Now he's pulling, of course. And once you get the mouth open, it's pretty simple. You just get the mouse pinky in there just a little bit, and be prepared to get bitten a little bit. I'm going to let him kind of writhe, if you want to say that, I guess, for just a second. And then just very gently, once I get it in there, I can feel the mouse pinky's head going in between my thumb and forefinger, as I am not pushing down at all. Again, just kind of let him move around, and he's not biting down on me or trying to hurt me or anything, of course. And this is, of course, all just for his good. Easy there, mister, I know. And it's just all about patience, all about just being as delicate as you can. And once you get the head down a little bit, it's pretty straightforward from there. Sorry, I brought it up, didn't I? There we go, mister. And so at the back of their throat, what you're just trying to do is get it to open up so that you can stick the head down. And I've seen people be a lot quicker with this, a lot more forceful with this, and they're probably more experienced, one, but also I just want to, of course, be as gentle as possible. And for those of you, I'm letting him sit it with the back of his throat, so hopefully it'll open a little bit. But for those of you who don't know, he can still breathe. They don't breathe from the back of the throat like we do. They have a esophagus, basically, tube at the front of their mouth, so he is still able to breathe, because I'm making sure not to pinch that or put pressure on that. And there we go. We got the head going down right there, moving on to the shoulders. And now for me, what's easiest for me is I use tongs. These have a little bit of calcium powder, which is totally okay. Not something that I would say you need to have at all. That's just for me feeding dubias to the sailfin dragon. And we're just going to very extraordinarily gently move the sides down, inch the sides down. And if you're not comfortable doing this, do not attempt this. And I should have said that at the beginning of the video. But of course, how do we all learn? It's by watching one another and helping one another out. So if you have somebody in your community who can help you, then please do that. Alright, and what I try to do here is almost get the arms out of my eyesight, out of where I can see them. And then what I have right now, just going to show you really quickly before putting him back in there, that's what I have. We're going to now set him inside of his home and hope that he starts biting down on it. And once he starts biting down on it, we know that he's more than likely going to eat it. Of course, I'm not going to try to disturb him or anything right now. Just going to stand very still right here and wait for him to start bringing that down. And it already looks like he is. I'll zoom in for you guys a little bit. Hopefully you'll be able to see where I'm talking. You can see right now that he is actually eating. He's using his mouth to manipulate the food down into his stomach, or into his throat, then to his stomach. And that is exactly what you want to see. Now, you can put them away right afterwards, but since this guy actually started eating straight away when I put him down, I would wait so that he doesn't get freaked out and then try to push it out again. Just wait for him to get done. Sorry about the bad angle, but I don't want to disturb him too much. But you guys get the point. And we have one more to do, in case that wasn't clear enough. The snake is bigger, so of course it's a little stronger, which of course means it's a little bit harder to do this on, but it should be okay. Alright, and it looks like it's moving down his throat right now. I just would like to get a bit more down before I try to move him back. And again, this is something that shouldn't be done unless, one, you absolutely are positive that you can do this right, and there's really no harm in trying it if you feel confident that you have the idea of how to do it and the tools, and maybe someone else. The very first time I did this, I had my fiance holding the back of the snake. Even though he's just teeny and easy to do it, it just was one less factor I had to think about. And then also, if you shouldn't be doing this if your snake is eating, or if you haven't had success, or haven't tried, giving it food yet. This is something that's meant for very, very last resort sort of thing. So that's assist feeding. Force feeding would be if I pushed it all the way down. So now we're going to put him back. Alright, the next snake that I have for you guys is a female Sulphur Mojave from the same clutch. Again, it just kind of seems like when a clutch has a hard time, the hatchlings have a hard time, but this is a beautiful animal, and I wish she would eat, but she hasn't taken food for about a month and a half before I started assist feeding her. So this will be the second time I assist feed her. After this, we'll try again with live. I just really don't want to have to lose her. We've tried mice, we've tried rat pups. Moving, prey that's big enough to move, prey that's not, leaving it dead overnight, just nothing seems to be working. And this little tiny mouse pup or mouse pinky is definitely not big enough for her. She had a larger one last time, but again, it does matter, but it doesn't matter at the same time because she had a larger one last time. She'll be able to have a bit of a smaller meal this time. I'm not too worried about the possibility of her passing just from a smaller meal. So let's get her out and take a look at her. She actually looks a lot better from the last time. Again, what I was worried about was when she was slithering around, her skin on the side would get sucked in and this skin would drape over it, and it just looked really bad, really bad. So we're gonna do exactly what I did last time, where I hold the side of her mouth with my thumb and forefinger, but on the other side because I need to have her facing this way. There we go. And that's not what we want. Oh, it's okay, baby. See if I can pin her tail then, like in between my fingers or something, because what they want to do is ball up just like ball pythons do and protect their head, and then they, whap the food out of your hand and everything, and it just becomes a mess. So alright, so here we go. Just again holding her as gently as I can while I do this. So let's get the camera hopefully focusing for you guys on exactly what we did last time. Gonna apply some pressure on the sides, but not a ton. She's gonna start squirming, and it's just basically until you get it back down to the back of the throat that it is usually an issue. There we go. What a good girl. She's being really good. Just trying to line it up and get it down there a little bit, just like I did last time, before using the tongs, which seems to be the easiest way for me. And that's something that I should touch on. You guys need to do what's easiest for you and what's best for your collection. And that goes for everything. Some people, no doubt, will tell me that I'm doing this, quotes, wrong. It just happens with the hobby. People think it's their way or the highway. And I'm not saying that there's not a wrong way to do something, because there sure as heck is. But having a reptile vet around and another person around who's done this, the reptile gig for a long time, has made me feel very confident and able to assist feed on my own and feel confident to assist feed on my own. The way that I do, anyways. It's okay, girl. And she is not wanting this down. No, let's not do that. There you go. There we go. That's what you want to see. And it doesn't help that when these pinkies, which are of course frozen thawed, you don't ever want to use live animals while doing this because you can severely injure your snake. They're kind of sticky. There we go. Just get that side down just a little bit. And you want to be pointing in the whole time if you guys use metal tongs like this, because last thing you want to do is puncture anything inside of her. They are circular tipped, so they aren't sharp, but seriously, like, don't use those unless you absolutely, don't do any of this unless you absolutely feel like you can. I can't stress that enough. So looks like she's good. She's biting down on it. She's relaxed. So I'm going to drop her in here quickly and see if she starts eating or not. Make sure that she's biting down on it and has it figured out and not flailing around and trying to get it out of her mouth. Yeah, she's eating it. There we go. Fantastic. Exactly what we were hoping for, exactly what we were looking for. Beautiful. So this can happen because ball pythons are one of the few animals which husbandry, if it's not correct, they'll actually starve themselves to death. Otherwise, this happens more likely and more commonly in hatchlings that are just thriving, or they are failing to thrive. So what that means is you need to figure out something different, something prey-wise different, something that you can do different, and in the meantime this is something that you can do to keep them alive. Gonna let that get down just a little bit more in the throat and let her kind of get out of the cage here a little bit, or wherever she wants to go. I just want that lump down in her throat deeper before I move her. Basically, if you guys think, oh, well, my snake's not eating and it's an adult, go check out the link in the description to our website below, and there is a page on there where you can view all of our Google Docs that have helpful hints and tricks and husbandry information. Other than that, lots of smaller snakes that come out of eggs, like boob eggs or eggs that weren't completely formed, will have issues with this being a clutch that was already struggling from the very day one it was laid. It's really no surprise that half the clutch is having issues. Actually, the Mojave from this clutch, which I'll show off in a minute, just ate her first meal by herself a couple weeks, actually a week ago, I think. Otherwise, she was going to have to be assist-fed too, but she never was assist-fed. The one that I want to keep is doing fantastic. So here's the Mojave. She's doing great. Has that beautiful, like, sort of a question mark look to her still. Looking nice and thick now that she's eaten the first time. I don't really want to mess with her too much because I'd like her to get some more food in here before she's out for too long, but you can see that great stripe down her neck, broken up all the way to the tip of her tail. Just amazing animal, beautiful clean belly, but we're gonna get her back. She will be available sometime. I just want her to eat a couple more times, obviously. Make sure that they actually are doing great in this clutch, since it was kind of a questionable one. And this is my baby. This is Polaris. She is a Mojave Lesser, possible sulfur, possible cinnamon, and also all of these snakes I just showed you, including this one, are all pos het albino. Very small chance though, but still there. Absolutely love her. She's doing fantastic. You can just see how much bigger she is, and this is why food is so important, because the more food your snake gets, the bigger it gets. You don't want it to get big too fast and like have bad bones and too high metabolism spikes and start eating away their own organs. But this is what a snake should look like from the clutch that was eating every time that was offered from the very first time. And yeah, she's just perfect in every way. So excited to have her, so happy to have this lady. You know what, why don't we show you the Hurricane Secret Project? I feel like we should be showing him off too, because he was out of the egg probably about 5 to 7 days after these guys were, and he's eaten every single time too. So yeah, let's go grab him. Now this guy is a great feeder, so I'm kind of nervous because my fingers smell like mice and rats now. But he's fantastic. I can't pick up the yellows on his back, but these spots right here are pretty yellow. He just looks incredible, doing amazing, eating every time. We're super stoked to have him. You guys can all guess what you want about what he is in the comments below, but he's gonna be saying a secret, so no hints. The only hints I will give out is he's not Trick, he's not Blitz, he is Hurricane something 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 something. We're super stoked about this dude, of course, and he's gonna be going into our breeding plans if he feels like it next year. Otherwise, hopefully the year after that. But super hopeful about possibly next year, with him being such a good eater that he is. Hopefully he'll sexually mature in time. It's not about weight, it's about when the snake is sexually mature. Probably coolest thing about him, if I can get him to relax here for a second, is his neck pattern. Let's see if I can get him up here to show you guys that. There, that neck pattern is just crazy cool. Beautiful. What a good boy. But anyways, I just wanted to touch base with you guys on, first off, how the hatchlings were doing here, and second off, how assist feeding goes, and why it sometimes happens. So make sure if you guys are thinking about breeding snakes that you either learn how to do that or go over to a friend's house, watch them do it, or have a vet nearby that's capable of doing it. Just because that'd be a really sad thing to have happen, is watch one of your snakes starve to death because you can't help it begin to thrive. So super happy about what's going on here, super excited, of course. And thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. If you have any comments, make sure to add them in the link below. Otherwise, be sure to keep watching. We have some exciting stuff coming up. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope that you go and check out all the descriptions in the box below. We have a bunch of links down there that are to our Facebook page, website, Instagram. Just go ahead and check those out if you guys want to see more. If you want to keep track of hurricane progress, we still have some clutches coming this year. Otherwise, we are just super stoked and excited to say thank you guys so much for 200 subscribers. We could not be happier. It's so awesome to see our channel growing. This is so much fun. So thank you guys for making this possible and giving us an ambition to continue doing YouTube. Hopefully we'll be making some crazy cool hurricane combos next season with the Hayabusa we just got and purchased from Hans Winter all the way from Germany, which is the Super Hurricane, and hopefully these guys will be up for sale very soon. So if you guys want to have any of those hatchlings beforehand, except the white one, sorry, they might be for sale soon, which is going to be great. Hopefully they start eating on their own though. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.